and welcome to my channel. Today I want to answer some questions so that you can get to know me better and my background and how I started gardening. I had done a 40 question challenge a while ago, so it's sort of following a similar format to that, but this is really focused more on gardening. So I came up with just a few questions, and at the end of the video, I want to invite several of my new YouTube gardening friends to join in and answer the same questions. So the first question is, did you have a garden growing up? And for me, no, I did not have a garden. My parents were never, as far as I know, never into gardening. We lived in apartments for most of my childhood, and so that was not something that was part of my life growing up. Where was your first garden and what did you grow? I lived in an apartment about 15 years back that had a balcony, and I wanted to put out a little bistro table, some chairs, and just be surrounded by flowers. So I started some container gardening. You know, I would always go full-fledged in the beginning and get so excited in the spring. I barely knew about plants and the different ones that flowered when, or annuals and perennials. I just wanted flowers, but I always petered out when it got really hot because keeping up with watering containers is quite a chore. And yeah, that's when I would sort of just give up once it got to the really hot summer. Who taught you to garden? I have been learning through a lot of YouTube videos or reading on the internet. I do tend to learn more by watching something rather than by reading. But I'm really self-taught. I don't have anyone in my family that gardens, and so I'm kind of on my own, learning as I go. Why do you garden? I love being outside. I didn't realize how much I really liked being outside. I have an office job and I'm always inside quite a lot, and I don't get out more often. Since we bought the house, you know, we got really busy with fixing things at the house, lots of different projects that it just sort of took away from my energy from doing much of anything else. And once I got outdoors and started planting and looking at my flowers and just having fresh air, I really enjoyed it so much that I just kept doing more and more. And yeah, so here I am sharing my garden with you. When did you plant your current garden? Bought the house 5 years ago. 2019 is where we got the landscaper to do a few things that they were doing here, putting the downspouts underground. And as part of that, I wanted to create the bed that's by the corner that I usually show in my garden tours. In the very beginning, it was the first bed that I always show. It has a little weeping cherry tree, which might not survive this winter. But yeah, so that started the whole thing, and recording everything on my phone. How did you decide what you're going to grow? Well, as I said, I made the mistake of letting someone else choose. Plus, you know, when we bought the house, obviously the prior owners made some decisions as well of what they were going to plant. In some cases, I really like some of the things that are here. There is 2 hydrangeas actually. One of them is a lace cap hydrangea, which I thought I would never love a lace cap hydrangea. I always loved the little pom-pom, the big pom-pom ones. The crepe myrtle, another one, great example. Never knew what a crepe myrtle was and absolutely love it. Will always want one in my garden. And then the ones that the landscaper put in, but now I'm starting to learn more. So after the landscaper put in, you know, some of the plants, I went out and I had bought a few echinacea, and I also bought some rhododendron, and I'm trying to remember what else I bought, but a few flowers that I put in there myself. And yeah, so it's a mishmash, and I do plan on sort of moving things around and now learning like light needs and water needs and all these things that I think that I will start applying more of those as I continue gardening and getting those beds more refined to where I think they should be. Which plants and flowers brought you the most joy last year? I guess it would be the dahlias. They were amazing. Even though after I dug them up and the tubers were half rotten and I don't think they're surviving in my basement, they were just spectacular. The dahlia tubers I bought were from Walmart, so they're fairly inexpensive. There's like 2 or 4 bare roots in one bag for $10. So at least I didn't invest a ton of money in them. And they're workhorses. I mean, the only thing is that they flower really late. So I would have preferred having flowers for longer. And so this year I'm going to be doing some winter sowing and seeing how I can extend some seasons. And I did order a bunch of seeds, which I will show you in another video. I'm still waiting for them to come. Mail has been so slow. I may not be doing dahlias this year, but don't hold me to that, because I probably will be going to Walmart and I'll be checking them out and seeing if they have dahlia tubers. And if anything strikes me, I probably will pick up 1 or 2 bags. Last year I went too crazy and bought, I don't know, 4 or 5 bags. There was too many. There was just too many. But, you know, the zinnias that I had in that one bed with the dahlias pretty much ended up being like a cut garden. So, you know, that's probably the bed that brought me the most joy. I was cutting flowers, bringing them indoors, and really enjoyed that and want to continue that this year, 2021. What are some gardening tools you can't live without? I'm still learning, but you know, there's a couple of tools I bought this year to add, but a pitchfork. I use that so much to try and dig in my very rocky soil, because I feel sometimes the shovel I can't quite get in there, and so I do tend to use it to loosen up the soil around first, and then maybe go in with the shovel or trowel afterward. So I do really like that. And the other one is a pair of snippers. Didn't realize how much I would love them, because you know, pruners are only used for certain things, but I did a lot of flowers like zinnias and cosmos and whatnot. And actually the snippers came in so handy for deadheading and just other little cuttings that I had to go around more of a day-to-day, and they're smaller and I can just carry them out every single time I went outside. So I guess those are the 2 things I added. Oh, and a shrub rake. Really love that, because the head of the rake is much smaller, and so I can really get underneath some of my shrubs and get a lot of the leaves out. And this fall that really came in really handy. What elements are part of your dream garden? So I really want to develop my garden. I don't know how I'll be able to do it. My property is a very hilly property, so I'm at the top of it and everything then goes down. And so I feel like I have to regrade it in order to get to where I would like. There's this one section by the generator bed, if you've ever seen any of my videos, that it's kind of the ideal area where I would love to enclose it and make it like this little secret garden, have a bench to sit at, have archways that lead in and out of there, and yeah, just make it so peaceful. And then put in also some raised beds, just a few, maybe 2 or 3 to have some vegetables, but I would need to somehow enclose that in as well to keep it away from the deer and the rabbits. And yeah, maybe someday in the future. So that's it for the questions. I hope that helps to get you to know me a little bit better about how I got into gardening, and you know, sort of just my background in that, which is none. I am really new to this and I'm still learning, but I hope that you enjoyed this and that you will follow me on my journey. So subscribe if you want to follow what my progress is this year and what I'll be doing in the garden. But I also want to welcome, a few other channels to join in and answer these questions and post a video and, get to know you a little bit better. It's not a challenge, so, it's whether or not you really want to do this. And I think it would be fun. So with that, Granny's Garden would love to have you join in and answer the same questions, as well as Darren Gooden, Lisa Sue Stewart, and RB the Garden Nanny. Certainly, if I didn't call you out and you're watching my channel and would love to join in and answer these questions, I don't mind. You can go ahead and post a video answering the same questions. So I hope you all enjoyed, and you will follow me in my journey and the progress of my garden, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.